Good evening and welcome to Friday's edition of Primetime News. I'm Michael Madimba. We'd like to convey our sincere apologies for the break in air in Primetime News in the course of this week. This was due to circumstances beyond our control. We are indeed glad to bring you the Friday edition. In tonight's lead, the head of state, Dr. Hage Geingob, has dismissed claims by Professor Joseph Disho that he owns a villa in Portugal. Edward Mumbu Jr. compiled this report.
Disho currently lives in Germany on an asylum basis as he does not feel safe in Namibia. Geingob said this whilst addressing the ambassador and noted that somebody claims that he owns a house in Portugal. Geingob stated, "Let me debunk this thing of Disho that I own a house in Cascais. Nonsense. You must stop this nonsense." In a telephonic interview on the same day, Disho stuck to his guns. This, according to Disho, was confirmed to him by diplomats. He added, "The background I have is that in June-July 2019, I was privy to a conversation between European senior diplomats very familiar with Namibia, during which it was said that President Geingob purchased a property in a posh neighborhood of Cascais in Lisbon, Portugal." Disho added that the transaction was made through a local bank. He added that he sent a direct WhatsApp query to the president, asking him to deny or confirm. He added that he even asked him to help him understand whether, if it were true, what national interest such a transaction served. Disho stressed that the president never responded to this day.
Rally for Democracy and Progress RDP leader Mike Kavekotora has stemmed the construction of only 600 houses by the National Housing Enterprise NHE in the last 5 years, a colossal failure.
Kavekotora, who led NHE between 2000 and 2005, wants its relevance reviewed and said those driving the parastatal into the ground must be held accountable. He made these remarks in the National Assembly on Wednesday, while submitting why the entity must be investigated by a parliamentary committee. Kavekotora remarked to the August House that the target of building 1,250 houses annually was not achieved. Instead, only 600 houses were constructed for the entire period of 5 years. NHE is currently kept afloat by income generated from the mass housing project, and according to him, NHE must undergo a performance audit to determine its ability to attain its main objective, which is to provide and finance affordable housing to the lower segment of the housing pyramid. Earlier this year, NHE suspended 4 managers after they asked Urban Development Minister Erastus Uthoni to investigate the management of the company. According to the managers, CEO Gisbertus Mukulu is grossly incompetent, lacking the necessary strategic and operational experience to run the institution. However, NHE board chairman Sam Shivute has defended Mukulu, saying he recorded significant achievements under a difficult financial environment.
Now, shifting our attention to the Kunene region, where the Health Directorate has reported that 16% of the region's population has, as of 18 October 2021, been fully vaccinated against COVID-19, with 26% en route to the second dose.
Senior Health Program Officer in the Kunene region, Jason Dapila, said the region has enjoyed sufficient supplies of vaccine from the Ministry of Health and Social Services. And with the recent addition of the single dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, many people could access doses from separate sources in all parts of the region. Ndapela told Nampa on Thursday that even though the Kunene region is yet to attain its target of vaccinating more than 64,000 of the region's population, an increase in vaccine administration has been observed after various engagements such as sensitization and mobilization campaigns, conducting of weekly vaccinations at all health facilities in the region, the distribution of materials on COVID-19 in local languages, and bringing on board senior, traditional and church leaders. He added that the region's targets from March 2021 to March 2022 was 64,499, and they have thus far vaccinated 17,350 people with the first dose since April 2021 to the 18th of October 2021, which translates to 26%, while people vaccinated with the second dose are 9,380, which is 16%.
Moving on to politics in the Erongo region. Suspended Independent Patriots for Change councillor for the Swakopmund constituency, Siske Howard Smith, says she would not give up and walk away from the responsibility entrusted to her by the electorate over petty issues.
So yes, I've been suspended. What it means now is I'm still unsure. I'm still getting opinions on that. But what is very unfair about this suspension is the fact that we're placing the people at risk, because we're at a critical point in our Erongo Regional Council, and I wasn't even consulted to ask what will this mean for the people and what will it mean for the electorate, because it's not just IPC that elected me. You know, I had an overwhelming win in Swakopmund and in the Erongo region, so for the party to take a decision to restrain me on the basis seemingly of me not residing in the correct area is grossly unfair, and I feel it's abuse of power, and it's not the party that suspended me. Dr. Itula suspended me in a verbal conversation yesterday afternoon in Windhoek, and this NGS was there and Brian Black, as I said, so they need to also confirm it. And if they say that what I'm saying is not true, I challenge you as the media to put it to them. And so that's the disappointment when I got the letter, to see that the letter doesn't even speak about the conversation that we had that led to the suspension, because Dr. Itula, in his autocratic way, just told me I'm suspended, not citing any reasons, not citing anything other than I'm suspended from all party activities, including me being a councillor. And like I said, I think that's unfair towards the people that elected me, because there should have been procedures in place and inputs from the people, at least.
Stand by for your talk roundup.
In the business and economic segment tonight, we commence with news from the Central Bank. Bank of Namibia Governor Johannes Gawakabu announced that the Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee has decided to keep the repo rate unchanged at 3.75%.
Gawakabu said in a statement on Wednesday, the Monetary Policy Committee is of the view that the accommodative monetary policy remains appropriate to support the weak domestic economic activity that is still being weighed down by the COVID-19 pandemic. He noted, at this level, the repo rate is deemed appropriate to safeguard the one-to-one link between the Namibian dollar and the South African rand while meeting the country's international financial obligations. Gawakabu said the global economy is improving, although the pace of recovery varies significantly between countries. He added that the inflation rates in most monitored advanced economies, as well as emerging markets and developing economies, are on the increase. Gawakabu stated that Namibia recorded a positive GDP growth rate during the second quarter of 2021, compared to a contraction in the corresponding quarter of 2020. The increase was attributed to better growth in sectors such as hotels and restaurants, wholesale and retail trade, fishing, administrative and support services, as well as information and communication during the second quarter of 2021. The statement further said the MPC reiterated the expeditious rollout of COVID-19 vaccines and addressing issues of vaccine hesitancy remain key to secure a speedier and sustainable economic recovery.
On to our second business story. The Ministry of Industrialization and Trade is at an advanced stage in securing aid from development partners to the amount of 27 million Namibian dollars to assist with the implementation of the revised quality policy.
Speaking here on Thursday while inaugurating the core group that will be responsible for implementing the revised quality policy 2020 to 2025, Minister of Industrialization and Trade Lucia Ipumbu said the main objective of the revised quality policy is to improve the business environment and the quality of products and services with the aim of increasing both domestic and foreign investor confidence. The policy is also aimed at supporting the Namibia Standards Institution as well as key ministries in dealing with technical regulations to consolidate their related infrastructure in order to conform to international requirements. The minister added that businesses on the international market require goods and services that are of high quality and that meet recognized standards. Ipumbu said with regards to the implementation of the quality policy,
A ministry is tasked with ensuring that products traded and manufactured by local enterprises are in compliance with the set standards under the Growth at Home strategy. The ministry launched the revised National Quality Policy in April this year, and the core group is made up of senior government officials representing ministries involved in technical regulation of the quality policy.
We will be back after the economics roundup and the weather forecast. In your sports update, we begin with local horse racing. The Namibia Horse Racing Association will host a competition at the Okachipara Turf Club, situated on the outskirts of Okonjatu settlement in the Okakarara constituency on Saturday.
The Namibia Racing Association President Martinez de Waal on Thursday confirmed the event, saying it forms part of the biggest Namibian Horse Racing Association preparatory event set for Chaka in the Omaheke region next month. Preparations for the event are underway, including the registration of horses from different clubs. According to de Waal, the Namibian Horse Racing Association has set aside a whopping $100,000 to be competed for in over 15 races, comprising of short and long distances. He said the money set aside for the competition will be disbursed among the winning horses. The horses will compete in the Nambred Beginner, Nambred Maiden, Nambred Graduation, D Division, A Division and Thoroughbred divisions. De Waal said this weekend they expect top performers like the popular Stalile from the Okahanja Racing Club, Frenchly from Aminos Racing, You Touch My Heart from Riverside Racing, Time Master from Comas Turf, and Vesigov of Aminos Racing.
On to some cricket news. Namibia restricted Ireland to a modest 125 for 8 in their decisive T20 World Cup qualifier in Sharjah today, as the tournament's lowest ranked team eyed a place in the Super 12 second round. AFP brings us more.
Ireland were well set at 71-2 at the midway point, but the runs then dried up as Namibia's bowlers turned the screws. Openers Paul Starling and Kevin O'Brien gave Ireland, who won the toss and chose to bat, a flying start. They put on a 67 for the first wicket before Starling fell to a left-arm finger spinner, Bernard Schultz, in the 8th over. Starling made 38 with 5 fours and his team's only 6, while O'Brien hit 25. Skipper Andy Balbani contributed 21 before he fell to seamer Jan Freiling attempting to force the pace. Freiling finished with 3-21 with David Weiser, who played for South Africa at the 2016 World Cup, claiming a respectable 2-22, as well as securing the last place in the Super 12 stage. The winners will be guaranteed a spot in the 2022 tournament in Australia. Both teams went to Friday's match with 2 points after wins over the Netherlands, but they came out short against 2014 champions Sri Lanka, who top Group A and have already made the next round.
Your sports roundup is up next. With that, we've come to the end of tonight and the week's bulletin. Much appreciated for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, please do subscribe, like, share, as well as click on the notifications bell to stay abreast of the latest happenings, locally and globally. Do add your comments as well in the comment section. Catch us on Monday next week for yet another edition of Primetime News. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the entire production crew, wishing you a fantastic weekend. Good night.